This is the ride-on dolly trailer converted into what I call a dolly trailer loader. As you can see, the design engineer who I bought this from converted the trailer for me by covering the wheel wells to make a platform and added two 5-foot ramps for the dolly to roll on and off. I added a winch. As you can see, the tongue of the dolly bends for a part of the loading, and this will be discussed later. Without a dolly and without this trailer and ramps, I wouldn't own a Sunfish. This is not approved by Right On Trailer, particularly covering the dolly wheel holder wells. Yet two established East Coast shops thought this conversion was a good idea and are passing this on to their customers. I bolted on a 1.5-inch piece of aluminum tubing, then attached a winch. The sailbag is secured with the carabiner to the winch and a bungee. The trailer front strap will be changed to be just in front of the splash guard to prevent the boat going forwards in case of an accident. The wheel platform, as you can see, is two boards on top and bottom with a third board wedged in between. Looks like he put the screws in from the bottom as I can't see any screws from the top. I started with one 5-foot deck board, then added the second to reduce chances of the wheel falling off the ramp while loading and unloading. Amazingly, the two standard hinges with the bolt through are enough to easily support the boat on and off. I recommend removing the bolts during travel. There are two straps, one to keep the dolly from moving forward and back, the other to hold down the wheel. The 9-foot dolly axle strap goes forward around a front bar, around the dolly axle, then to the rear trailer axle. The wheel strap is 4 foot. Initially, I used power tie straps, but they loosened too quickly, so switched to NRS straps, which have two springs in the cam. Again, the shop stressed the importance of strapping the dolly securely to the trailer and the boat separately strapped to the trailer. Here is the front elbow fitting, and it hasn't showed any signs of loosening or cracks after at least 12 times getting the boat on and off. The tongue is two parts joined inside by a 10-inch splice tube. This makes for a solid and, according to one shop, unbreakable joint. Here's the rear fitting, which is solidly supported by the dolly axle above. The tongue bending and breaking was, but is no longer a concern. I easily cut a small protruding 1/2 inch of metal with the sawzall to get the tube flush to bolt onto the angled shaft of the trailer. The winch is small, but the handle on this winch clears the bow of the boat when cranking. A longer than 7-inch handle hits the bow. I wanted the winch to be as horizontal as possible, so a larger winch would have to be attached higher, creating a higher bow attachment angle. I also want to give a suggestion, particularly for solo sailors like me, on using the dolly in the water. First, I put out an anchor with about 8 to 10 foot of line so it'll hold. Then take out the boat with dolly attached and tie up to the anchor line. Removing the dolly, I detached the front of the dolly first, so it sunk and I had to find it after taking off the middle strap. It should be done in the reverse. The dolly floats because of the air in the tires. Now it's time to take the boat in, so I floated the dolly out. I used the painter line to tie the boat to the dolly, but when I came in, I had tied the painter to the anchor line because it was so calm. When I untied the painter, I forgot to retie the boat to the anchor line, and that made things more difficult because I had to hold the boat while doing the rest. Now you know what not to do. After the front of the dolly to the bow, I pushed it under the boat so it floated up with the dolly strap in the correct position. Then I attached the top strap so the boat was secure and floated it in. Hope you enjoyed my first YouTube video, and thanks for watching.